Bandidos, what up? Today I bring you a build video, but we're gonna do it a little bit different because there's a lot more involved here. So let me explain. So in Division 2, we're in Season 2, which came with Seasons 2.0, introducing a new seasonal structure which came with modifiers. We're 90 days into this 120-day season, so hopefully this isn't news to anyone. So if you've been around my channel, you know I've been keeping my finger on the pulse of this community for a long time. But today isn't about the drama. It's not about the modifiers dividing the players or the devs leaving us to figure things out on our own. No, this is a build video, but today is about one thing: power. The kind of power that makes you rethink what's possible in the Division 2, even with the challenges modifiers bring to the table. And this build isn't anything out of the ordinary per se, but trust me, it's going to prove just how much firepower you're packing. And if you're interested in dominating that Climax mission that's just a few weeks away, the one that's offering the new difficulty mode as well as a proving ground to show that you have mastered your modifiers, then you're going to want to pay attention, because what you're going to see here is a demonstration on how to take some of these build templates and tailor them and tune them to your playstyle to absolutely demolish this game with modifiers and all directives. But be warned, no delusional optimism, UB fanboy BS in this video, just straight talk. So let's do this.
Wait, did we just become best friends? So nice to meet you. I think you're cool.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
So I have to get this out of the way real quick to put everything into context. So when the season kicked off, I pulled the community to get a feel of how folks were adapting. Half of you were all in, embracing the modifiers and figuring out ways to make them work, new builds and whatnot. The other half, not so much. In fact, a lot of players were so turned off they straight up bounced. And I get it, it's a big change. But here's where I need to level with you. If you're expecting build videos that completely ignores modifiers, you might want to take a step back and reassess what's happening with this game. I'm not going to be promoting modifiers. I don't have to, because here's the reality. Modifiers are here to stay. The devs haven't said a single thing to suggest otherwise. This is the direction they've decided to take the seasonal content, and love it or hate it, this is the game we're playing now. My job isn't to sugarcoat it, convince you to like it, or do the devs' job for them. My job is to showcase what works, good or bad, for the current state of the game. So yeah, the builds I show you are going to include modifiers, because that's what's relevant this season. Next season, new modifiers. So new builds for those. If the devs ever pull the plug on modifiers, of course I'll pivot. But for now, this is the Division 2 as it stands. Let me be crystal clear. If showing builds with modifiers doesn't align with how you're playing the game, I get it, but I'm not going to pretend the game isn't what it is. And speaking of delusional optimism, let's talk about what the devs aren't doing. They've basically handed off the responsibility of getting players to adopt this new system to content creators like me. They're not putting out guides or explanations to help people transition. They've left the heavy lifting to us, but I'm not here to do their job. I'm just here to play the game we've been given and help you do the same if you're still on board. And just for the record, if you're asking if I actually like modifiers, I do. Not because the devs did a piss poor job of launching them and encouraging player adoption. They absolutely dropped the ball there. At first, I thought the NPC buffs were ridiculous too. But after sinking in the time and unlocking everything, I came to my own conclusions. If the modifiers weren't here, there wouldn't be anything to play in the Division 2. What else is there to do? The weekly scouts? And we're not talking about one dry season. Let's be real, we've been replaying the same content for a long time. The last new mission we got was Paradise Lost, and that didn't even cater to the entire community. So unless something changes, let's just face the facts for now. The Division 2 is going to keep bleeding players who can't or won't connect with these seasonal changes. That's just the reality. We can accept it, move on, or walk away. Your call. Today isn't about that drama. Today's video is about something different, a build, and not just any build, but a demonstration of raw power. And I decided to do this particular build video because I see this comment a lot, and you probably have too. You know, the comment floating around about players who hated modifiers at first, but eventually came around. Why? because they realize something that's easy to miss in all that noise, that upfront stuff that you experience. We have never been this strong in the Division 2. Period. And this build is going to show you exactly why. Even if modifiers make the NPCs tougher or more annoying, the sheer power you have at your disposal right now completely counters that. You've got the luxury to adapt and overcome because the foundation is just that strong. And like I said, I'm not here to talk you into modifiers, but at the very least, maybe I can give you the tools to dominate no matter how you feel about modifiers. Okay, so you've been seeing the gameplay in the background, okay? But now let me show you the actual build so you can see what we're working with and why this is a demonstration of power. This is a traditional sniper build. Not really. And you might notice there's a key thing missing on it. Where's Headhunter? Headhunter has been a key component in all of our sniper builds since it came out. And it's even gone beyond that to shotgun builds and pistol builds and rifle builds. Real quick, this is not a new talent. After killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals an additional 150% of that killing blow's damage. Now, if you have 150% headshot damage on your build, that's going to cap to 1,250% as you stack or chain kill. And that's been able to give us really good numbers like 10, 25, 30 million, not counting the Nemesis, which can get much higher, or team buffs. Let's just say 25 million is a really respectable sniper build in this game for the past several years. And then came the release of Determined. Determined allowed us to chain kill off of body shots as long as your build is strong enough. Let me be clear, this is not a damage talent. Let's read it. After killing an enemy with a headshot, the next shot landed on any enemy will be a guaranteed headshot. So Determined is what allows you to go for the body, and that body shot count as a headshot. And if it gets a kill, it's gonna refresh Headhunter so you can shoot the body again. And if that body shot gets a kill, it's gonna refresh Headhunter, and so on and so forth. But without Determined, a body shot, although it might kill an enemy, it's not considered a headshot, so it will discontinue Headhunter, and then you have to start again. So neither of these talents are new. So hopefully I'm explaining something to you that you already know, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Now, if you're looking for the strongest sniper in the game, you're probably running 2 pieces of Habsburg on your build. The backpack talent is likely going to be Vigilance. So Vigilance gives you a total weapon damage by 25%. That's an increase, so it's a multiplier. This is a very good damage talent. And then 2 pieces of Habsburg is giving you headshot damage and marksman rifle damage. All right, just to make sure I'm thorough, let's talk about what Hotshot does. At its base, 2 pieces is going to give you marksman rifle damage at 30% and weapon handling at 30%. 30% headshot damage, and then there's Headache. The first shot, which is a critical shot for snipers. This gear set 4-piece bonus doesn't give you any benefit to that first shot. So the first shot, if you land it on the head, is going to be a primer. That's going to make it so that the second shot will have a 20% increase in headshot damage. Every consecutive shot thereafter, you cannot miss. Okay, so the second shot, which is really your third, right? Let's just call it the next consecutive headshot, with a marksman rifle will give a 10% armor on kill, or bonus armor on kill if you're at max armor, up to 50% of your current armor value. The third consecutive shot is going to refill your magazine. So this is really nice for directives on refilling your magazine. And then from that point forward, headshots with a kill are going to give you all 3 bonuses. But there's a lot of pressure on this gear set Hotshot. It doesn't make a lot of sense to run Hotshot unless you're running something like Determined, which is going to help you maintain a high percentage of kills and headshots. All right, so otherwise, traditionally, we put weapon damage and headshot damage on the build. I just went ahead and kept that. I wanted to keep this build simple, but I want to tell you right now, the reality is you can load this thing with armor. You can put on hazard protection, explosive resistance, whatever. There's a limit, but you can put a lot of that on and still be chain killing. We're going to be chain killing using this build without a damage talent on the chest, without a damage talent on the backpack, without a damage talent on the weapon, and to top it off, I'm not running sharpshooter. So we're not getting the additional damage from the scope that sharpshooter gives you. We're not getting the additional headshot damage to marksman rifles that sharpshooter gives you. Instead, we're getting ammo from this, and we're getting 10% armor on kill, just for a little bit of survivability. And we're getting bonus armor on kill, and we're getting armor on kill from Hotshot, so survivability is in a really good place. Plus, we have a fixer drone. There's only a few shots that really matter for snipers. One is the first one, and the question is to make a really good sniper build, and an exceptional one in fact, is can you one-shot an elite right out of the gate without any buffs active on your build? And the answer for this setup is yes. The next question is, can you carry that kill forward, or can you now chain kill indefinitely? And the answer for this build is yes. And then from there, it's about consistency, which is part of chain killing. So the answer is yes. Doesn't matter what rank these enemies are, you're gonna be able to do that, including bosses, which is the last checkbox for a sniper build. Can you one-shot a boss? Which isn't really critical, but with this one, you're one-shotting bosses too. So you have all of those checkboxes checked without a backpack damage talent, without a weapon damage talent, without a damage talent on the chest. Typically, a strong sniper build looks more like this. And I'm not running sharpshooter, so just use your imagination there. You'd be running a Habsburg on your chest instead with Headhunter, so you can get that 1,250% cap. Without that, traditionally, you're not able to actually chain kill. Without modifiers, you're not able to pick off that elite from your first kill. In many cases, and I'm not talking about all cases because there are exceptions. All the exceptions aside, Headhunter is the go-to for sniper builds on the chest. And then on the backpack, you're typically running your second piece of Habsburg with Vigilance so that you can have that damage buff. And if you're going to be running the meta, the reality is Determined stays on your sniper because if you want to clear content quickly, there's nothing faster than Determined. Again, center mass. Big difference. We're talking a 1,250% headshot damage increase from your killing blow transferred to your next shot that we're playing without. And we're also playing without that vigilance. So going back to the setup that we had, what are we playing with? What do we have for talents? So you already saw that I had Determined on the sniper, right? Okay. And then for the chest talent, Hotshot gives us Daring. So this increases our bonus armor from 50% to 100%. And the backpack gives us Blessed. So this allows you to miss a headshot before resetting the cycle. And the cycle it's talking about is Headache. So remember how I said this is demanding? Yeah, so if you miss your shots, you start all over with that primer shot that doesn't give you any benefit. Sucks. I just wanted to keep this simple. So everything is just weapon handling and headshot damage. Again, for simplicity, headshot damage, backpack is weapon damage, headshot damage, the knees, the same, and the holster, the same. And then for Habsburg, I'm running a red core here with weapon handling and headshot damage. Of course, you can put armor. You can put armor on probably all of these pieces. Again, keeping it simple. I decided to put one armor core on because I know a lot of you would run closer to 1 million in armor, maybe even 1.1 million, but we're also getting the 10% armor on kill from this, and we're getting 10% armor on kill from this, plus the bonus armor on kill. I decided not to overdo it on armor. So here's where things get crazy, right? The modifiers. Now, these are this season's modifiers. Next season, they're gonna change, so we'll be having a different discussion. But the global modifier, the point blank one, is actually the big one. So at long range, 25 meters or higher, we're going to be getting a 1.5x or 150% amplified damage. That's the best kind of damage you can get in this game. Enough said. And then we're playing with All Out, the active modifier. This is going to help you with those close in shots too. You know, those guys that make it inside 25 meters. Well, it's going to make them so that they're considered long range shots. So it's going to maintain a stable 150% amplified damage on even close-in targets. It allows you to rush if you want to, snipe from the inside if you want to, whatever. So when you activate this, you have to do so within 10 seconds by picking off a target that's in long range, which is really easy to do with a sniper. Your first shot is usually a surprise shot, and you can kill an elite with your first shot using this build. All right, then we have our passive modifiers. These are all gonna be active depending on the range the target is in. So if you lock them in at long range, it's gonna lock all of these in no matter where the enemy is standing in relation to you. And the reality is you're clearing content 2.5 to 3 minutes here with this build. I'm talking about heroic control points. These are likely up almost the entirety of the mission. Either way, you're one tapping everything. This is going to give you 150% headshot damage to every target within long range. But by doing this, this is going to make your body shots super weak. But because you're running Determined, here's the trick. There aren't any body shots. Then Coal of the Week, which is a passive modifier that gives us increase 5% marksman rifle damage at long range per shot up to a maximum of 30% on weapons that are already really strong. And then for the other one, I just decided to use bait and switch. You have options here, but that's going to give me a little bit of hazard protection. So for the sniper, I have my 12x scope, I have stability down here, and then I have reload speed. So let's look at the stats here real quick. On the surface, you see 325% headshot damage. That's at base, but with that modifier, that's going to push us up by 150 to a total of 475% headshot damage. Incredible. So the base damage of the weapon is at 1.27 million. That's with an armor core and expertise. I definitely recommend loading expertise on the best sniper in the game. Do that. That's the build. Nothing magical, but what I'm showing you here and what you've witnessed so far are headshots, chain killing without determined. That's nuts. We've never been able to do that, and that is showing you how strong we are. And you can do this with probably just about any sniper. I haven't tested them all. I did test the Mantis, which didn't have determined, and you're able to chain kill with that. And so I imagine a lot of the snipers are able to, but determined is magical because you can go center mass. That opens up so much flexibility on the creativity of your build. You could put brace if you wanted more handling, bloodsucker on your backpack if you want more bonus armor, kinetic momentum if you want to power up your skills, give yourself more heals or more damage to maybe a turret. You could even do Overwatch to buff your team, or unbreakable in case of emergencies. Anyways, there's no right answer here. The point is there's so much damage at the base because of modifiers. You're able to have the flexibility to create builds that you've never been able to do before. Look at this like a base template. Start with this build and then tailor it to what you want to do. Notice I'm running all 5 directives, and it's not really that challenging, right? Because this build one-shots everything. They all come with their challenges, such as no regen, cool skills. We don't want to be relying on our skills, and we don't want to be using weapons that use a ton of ammo, hence the sniper, but rifles also work, and same with pistols, right? This build obviously works just like it is. I rarely take any damage or even status effects, but to make it a more godly build, what I would do is actually strip away power and put in its place hazard protection, because why not? So I would maximize hazard protection and then go around and one-shot everybody with that. I'm running ninja, so we still have our 1 blue core. Now we have a skill tier as well. So what the ninja backpack does unlock a brand set or gear set bonus. So I'm running 3 pieces of hotshot still, which is actually 4 pieces because of the ninja backpack, and then I have hazard protection where it matters, and I'm still running the chest piece. Now I'm running a Cheska, which is giving me headshot damage and hazard protection with weapon damage. It's that 2-piece bonus that's giving us 20% hazard protection. So that's 30% right there. And then I'm running 1 piece of Cavalier, but because of Ninja, it's 2 pieces. So that's 30% hazard protection. I have 10% hazard protection. So that's 40% hazard protection right there. We're at 100% hazard protection, and we're able to chain kill. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is what the 100% hazard protection build looks like. And I'm actually pretty content with the build, but it could be a little bit better from a consistency perspective. Although we're one-shot chain killing almost everybody, it's still almost everybody. Every now and again, we'll come across an inconsistency when we don't have all out activated and we have somebody in medium or close range. So to cure that, I can make a couple of quick changes. With this build, you're going to be seeing numbers like 120 million on body shots. Huge number, right? But the reality is there's no enemy that can take that much damage. So it is nice, it is fun, but it's over the top. The reason why we have such big numbers is because I now am running Headhunter. So I put Headhunter back on the build to ensure there's just going to be nobody left on the board, while buffing my build to have 100% hazard protection. So as you can see here, we are immune to all hazards. Huge. Now I'm running 913,000 in armor, but obviously with 120 million in damage, you can crank up your armor as high as you want to. And the question is, why not? Well, there is one why not, and that is that first shot. I would crank this up all the way up to the point as long as I'm not losing that first kill with 1 shot on an elite. As long as I don't lose that, then I will crank my armor up all the way, because why not? But I can't demonstrate that for you today because that would require me to go farm a bunch of pieces with hazard protection so that I can load armor. Unfortunately, that is not in the scope of the video today. I do also want to note that this Cheska piece is not optimized. I would rather have headshot damage there or even weapon handling. Otherwise, everything is the same. We have 3 pieces that acting like 4 pieces of hot shot. So we get the armor on kill and the bonus armor on kill, as well as the auto reloads and that stuff. And then we have the hazard protection with headshot damage combo. This one is just a standard piece. I have hazard protection on the knees. I'm still running Cavalier on the holster, weapon damage and hazard protection for all of that Hasbro. And then the chest is what changed with Headhunter. We've progressed from build 1 to 2 to this final build, and this one aligns more with my type of play or my play style here. The first one is great. It obviously works. It's just a demonstration of power, because the truth is, between you and I, is that we need better chest talents. One of the things that the modifiers are exposing or making even more glaring of an issue than it was in previous seasons is that our talents are just been there, done that. Now that we have so much power, they don't provide the utility or the defense that I really need for the build. So I don't really have good options. Hotshot just so happens to have some decent backpack and chest talents for this particular gear set. So bonus armor is great, or being able to miss a shot is great. As you can see, I didn't take much damage anyways. Not having that extra bonus armor on kill wasn't really a detriment. I don't even need to be running 3 pieces or 4 pieces of hotshot. I could put on something else like Habsburg and actually be hitting harder at the cost of a little bit of utility. So I'm choosing the utility. But the point is, I don't have many talents to choose from. You might be thinking braced for that crazy weapon handling, and I get it. It's a great idea, but because we have determined we're going for body shots, we don't even need that weapon handling. It would only be great for reloads, but not really that worth it. I'd rather have a Headhunter so I just don't have to worry about anybody, including Chungas. You're 2-shotting Chungas once to break their helmet and once to kill them. There's a lot of different ways you can take this build. You can pull back some of that hazard protection for more armor on kill, and then use your mods to keep yourself from that disorient status effect, because that's the one we're really protecting against, which is coming with the modifiers, and hazard protection is really helpful there. But you can just target that hazard, that disorient, by using your mods on your build. If you use those, then you don't have to run Cheska, and you can put something else there instead, like armor on kill or a Habsburg if you need more power, which you really don't, but another kind of utility, whatever floats your boat. Hopefully this gets your head in the right place for that Climax mission and what builds you're going to need to dominate. So I'll be doing a similar exercise with DPS builds to get you ready for those of you who prefer to play with assault rifles especially. So look out for that video coming soon. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Tuxedo Bandido, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on the good stuff I have coming for you. And if you like content like this, be sure to check out the video I have recommended for you right here. If you have anything you would like me to cover, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make things possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be the same without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy.
Wait, did we just become best friends?